two Black Star rambles in a row, um, 24 hours apart. It must be 2022. But nah, I was thinking about, and mind you, this was all because I was kind of messing around on my VNDB, just looking at my wish list, and I was thinking about the Capo, which is like a romance visual novel. Um, and it specifically got me thinking about, excuse me, my relationship with love and romance. You know what I'm saying? Little Jamie and her connection to other human beings. It's a wild ride, so this one might be ridiculous. So maybe since I was 14, I feel like I've always been in this specific wave about how I feel about, my human urges. Those being the urge for uh romantic interaction, you know what I'm saying? Yearning, you feel me? Um I've always realized it was a necessary evil that most humans will face. And despite that, I kind of hated it. Why? Because, at that time, I was kind of trying to focus on otaku maxing, but it kind of didn't work out because uh, little Jamie, one, was a little easy, and two, wasn't too big into saying no to individuals. So there I found myself, you feel? And I honestly, looking back, noticed a pattern um, between a majority of these relationships, no matter how severe the pattern was. It was always that at a certain point, I felt like I didn't want to be here anymore. You know what I'm saying, bro? Um, and I always attribute it to maybe I'm just evil. Maybe I can't love somebody, but maybe maybe it was more just me not allowing myself to love somebody because I was an idealistic warrior at the time, trying to stay true to some guidelines that I never even really followed. You know what I'm saying? But it was kind of difficult when, you know, when I was otaku maxing and I did manage to, break out of a relationship, watching these visual novel adaptations, these romance Annie, reading these Bishoujo games, and seeing depictions of pure love, um, and not really feeling like I could relate, or like I didn't really know how to feel, or like I was missing out on something, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, the real truth is, I mean, it's never going to be as magical as uh, these depictions anyway. Like, I'm not going to shackle down with a Akari from Two Heart. I don't necessarily mean I'm attracted to that character or that I'm like into the waifuism and I jack her heavy. I don't mean it like that. I mean it as in an Akari, as in someone who uh, is just simple, holds it down, show love, wholesome all the way. Like that's not a real, a real thing, dude. Uh, real love is not beautiful in 4:3 resolution with cell animation like Two Heart 1999. You know what I'm trying to say here. I'm kind of otaku maxing the speech, but whatever, bro. But of course, at that time, I didn't really come to all these conclusions, and I was kind of just still dabbling inward. Which I mean, I think, I mean, that's a good thing. Obviously, relationships are good for socialization at a young age or whatever, even though I feel like my social shit is still cooked despite all of that. So, what exactly did that do? Who knows? But I guess in a way, it was a necessary evil. But regardless of how I feel about the idea of a relationship itself, I still never actually could feel content with one. And I dead don't know why. I dead do not know why. Unlike the last ramble about Chris Tears, this one's a little more open ended because I still don't know the answers to a lot of this shit, but I just kind of wanted to talk about it. Like this flip flop between wanting to reject romance as a concept at all, but still yearning is kind of like is weird to maneuver, and it's not necessarily. I don't really feel like I choose to be anti-love or anything. I'm not even really anti-love. I think love is cool. Um, but like I've always wanted to avoid such, and I just don't know where the hell it comes from, bro. And I don't get exactly what keeps me coming back to the idea of a relationship when I know I'm not really gonna jack it right. Right? Is it just the people? Was it just me? You know what I'm saying? There's things I don't know. Can I really not jack it? Have I just not met someone on my same wavelength? You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of shit. Cause I wasn't really tapping in. I was dating Riaju girls. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like I didn't have much in common with any of them. To an extent, you feel. So it was kind of like, despite really being close to somebody, um, and intimate with someone, I still felt a sense of alienation, as if, you know, um, we aren't we aren't really peers. Um, like I would look at the people I'd be with and realize we live entirely different lives. You feel me? Like I remember, like at one point, like uh, I'm trying to figure out how I wanna like. All right, give me a sec. The first girl that I got serious with, um, at that point, that was like the first time I really hung out with somebody outside of school. But on the flip side, it was like she had friends. She hung out with people. You know what I'm saying? I uh was a future hiki goddess, I guess. Not my words, bro. That's how niggas be acting like I move on here. Um, she was just a chill normie. You feel? So I didn't really feel like, what do we have in common, truly. And I feel like that opens up a shortcoming of my own, where for me, if I don't feel like I'm equals with someone at all, I I kind of start to care less. I'm not really sure how to explain it. Like, this is just my own fault as a human being. But if I feel like me and you aren't really on the same wavelength, the urge to be in your presence, it goes down because I feel like I can't truly be understood. So it's just like, fuck it, regardless of how the person on the other end may feel. And I acknowledge that that's a flaw of me as a human being, and somewhat of a selfish trait. I do realize that, like, I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything. And I do realize it's kind of cruel. And I did use that at times to be cruel intentionally, when I felt like I really just couldn't take the shit anymore. So I'll keep it a buck about that. But I've never really been able to shake it. I don't, I try not to be a dick about it or anything. Or like I try to hide it now. But it's like, eh. And this isn't even romantic relationship exclusive. This is even friendship sometime. Like, if I see me and you have just wildly different lifestyles, hobby, whatever, but we're somehow quote unquote close, it's like the person is disposable in my head in a way. Like the kind of people that I could block and block again and unblock and block again, and it wouldn't really mean anything. And again, I just don't exactly understand why that happens. I don't know. This is more me asking questions, than telling the soul. And this all kind of comes back to, um, what do I exactly do, from here on? Because I have conversations with, say, like, uh, family members, my grandmother or whatever, dad or whatever, my homeboy Ian that I mentioned last ramble, and they always mention that I should probably seek someone to get close to on that level. And the issue arises for me because to this day, no matter how many relationships I've been in, I can confidently say I don't really know how to maneuver such or be in one at all, and I don't understand it. Like, I just can't comprehend how to be, um, a normal partner or even cherish somebody, to perform for them in that sort of way at all. I don't think. At least I haven't really met anyone that made me feel that way for real, for real, for real. Um, so maybe I was just taking what I could get, maybe I was never jacking people in the first place. Maybe. I don't know. I think I can only think of like one instance where I really crashed out over some shit. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I don't know if it was exactly about that. Like, okay, so for most of my relationships, I was the one who said, all right, this shit gotta be over. And I only had that shit did to me like one time. And that one time, I did tweak. But I still don't know if it was exactly because I was dead in love with her or because she was kind of just the only person I had in my life at that point in time. And I thought she was moving on. evil for that. Like I don't know, especially cuz like now when I think about it, or bro, or like now when we interact, I don't even know how to feel. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, but it's weird cuz it's like she's kind of my best friend in a way, but really, I don't know, bro. This thing, there's so many people in my life I just don't know how I feel about, and I don't know if I have like concrete feelings on. And that's just in so many different ways, and it's just like I can't do a lot of this stuff, bro. Friendships, relationships, I don't know, bro. That's why I always, glaze my friend Ian a little bit, because I've never really felt some type of way, against him or nothing, no matter what. Like that was always my nigga, and it was always gonna be that. Like I've never crashed out on him. I never wanted to crash out on him. I never wanted to get him gone. I never wanted to treat him a certain type of way. That's always gonna be my bro. But with other people I was friends with, that was never the case. Like I've always had rocky, crumbling, or bridge burning relationships with like almost every other human being in my life, and I just don't exactly know why. Well, I mean, mainly it was because I felt like homeboy never really judged me. He's manic with the bipolar too, so I really feel him. You know what I'm saying? We feel each other. That's bro. So I was never like, nah, I hate this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's really probably like the one IRL I can say, yeah, that guy's nice. Of course, uh, that's in a platonic sense, but I'm saying both platonic and romantic relationships, both of these things that can kind of apply to each other in my life for me. So it all comes down to, is love even like real, or like a real thing in my life on a non-platonic level? Because I know I love my mutuals on some chill shit, you know. Like, yeah, that's my bro. I love Marcy. I love Mariski. The bros and shit. Love Phoebe. Love Chris. Blah blah blah. But can my brain really handle someone deeper? Like handle someone on a deeper level and truly identify such? Stay true to that and not second guess and not feel exhaustion? I don't know, bro. Like, I hope maybe one day I'll like kind of find my way. Well, not really. What I really hope is I can just stay on my lonely, honestly, most of the time. But maybe one day I'll like find my way and kind of understand my emotions a little more when it comes to people and romantic relationships, and sometimes even just friendships, and how the hell to appropriately behave in such situations. This one was even less structured than the Chris Tears ramble, but this one was kind of from the heart on a different type of level. Yeah, I don't know, y'all. I'm gonna I'm not watching the rest of this show. I just put it on in the background. Kimi no Zo. It's a classic though. It's been a minute since I rewatched. I won't be rewatching because I can't jack shit like that still. Don't get me twisted. I'm probably just gonna lay down. Uh, yeah, Black Star Nation, love, shout out.